on what it will be to make sure that my kids stay healthy. And in this flu season, I can just attest to the fact that it has been a stressful winter, figuring out whether we take my daughter in, whether we don't, how do we get her into the pediatric practice. The practice is full, off hours. So we were constantly struggling with how to get basic answers to our questions. My presumption is that there will be better tools that would allow my family to feel much more empowered about what the choices are for our children, so that we drop our anxiety, increase the confidence that they'll stay healthy through through these seasons. I have 5 priorities for the president. 3 are in the area of job creation, and those are ensuring we have the infrastructure for the 21st century economy. The President of the State of the Union announced a national wireless initiative that will provide coverage to 98% of the population and position us with research and development for 5G and beyond technology. So that's an important chunk of my time. Second is this concept of entrepreneurship and Startup America. That is, how do we bring entrepreneurial thinking to healthcare, energy, education, public safety, you name it. So we launched on January 31st the Startup America collaboration, where Steve Case from AOL agreed to be the external leader of this movement. 0 taxpayer dollars, an opportunity to collaborate with the private sector. My third responsibility is to think about the rules of the road on the internet. So how do we protect our children? How do we ensure we've got privacy protections? What about cybersecurity? How do we think about intellectual property protection and economic growth on the internet as an engine for growth? So getting the rules of the road right for the internet economy. So I think those 3 pieces are big and they're part of our economic growth strategy. But my 4th item is to bring openness to government. So whether it be Medicare or ONC or any other federal agencies, making sure that the method by which they execute policy reflect the president's commitments to openness, more transparency, more collaboration. And last but certainly not least, the president said when he announced my job, I would like my chief technology officer to ensure that we're harnessing the power of technology and innovation to dramatically improve the value of our healthcare system, lower costs, and improve quality. So in that regard, a lot of the work that's coming out of the PCAST report, our healthcare IT program, the Affordable Care Act, stitching and connecting the dots on how technology and innovation will catalyze some breakthroughs here, is that 5th and very important part of my job. So this is just a simple idea. The Market Foundation had a meeting which talked about personal health records and what will that future look like and what role will they play in it. And a number of folks, including Adam Bosworth, who was originally one of the founders of XML, said, wouldn't it be great if there was a little button, maybe a blue button, that would allow patients to download a copy of their information and allow them to transport it wherever they go. Well, the VA, the DoD, and Medicare all have repositories where patients enter in data. In the case of the VA, they augment it with clinical information, and more will come over time. So we said, gosh, what a simple proposition. What are the methods by which, if someone's been authenticated and already capable of looking at their information online, once they've been authenticated and they're in the system, why can't they download? And so we put the challenge out there. The president in August said, I want this blue button capability and I want it this fall. He told the veterans, the disabled veterans of America. In fact, it was one of the loudest applause lines of his speech, a speech he otherwise was describing the end of the combat mission in Iraq. He mentioned this statement and he got a round of applause. Less than 60 days after his statement, the VA was up and running, as was the military, as was CMS. And we are now over 200,000 people, I think we're approaching 250,000 who've downloaded their information. We had a commission survey to figure out what are people doing with the information. Most of them are retaining for their records keeping purposes, but we think there's a new market to be born to provide upload features so folks can take that data, upload it into new applications and derive even greater value off the information that's already there. So we think this is a simple concept. It's the government enabling or encouraging these kinds of innovations. There's no reason on earth that every record holder can adopt. There shouldn't be any reason why they can't adopt a similar model of blue button. There should be data liquidity throughout the healthcare system, and we're just going to lead by example. And we're hoping others will join the trend. And we've heard a number of private firms talk about both downloading and uploading into the concept of blue button.